Hello, Alabama. That was unexpected. Did you see what Finley said to Bama and the team? TJ Finley on Alabama. They might not be who they think they might be. Before the news, subscribe to the channel to receive more news. What made the Bama clash with Western Kentucky different? It was this guy, TJ Finley, a familiar name to fans of college football, especially those following Alabama. Finley, a former quarterback for Auburn and LSU, brings not only the experience of having faced the Crimson Tide before, but also a renewed confidence worth mentioning. During an appearance on Book It Sports, Finley made it clear that his team was not the usual Western Kentucky. He argued, before the loss of course, that regardless of the final outcome, his group would not easily yield. "We have all the pieces we need to make a run this year," he claimed. This statement, coming from someone who has faced Alabama on other occasions and came up short, might sound bold, but does it reflect the evolution of a player? Finley continued, "Whether we beat Alabama or not, we're going to show Alabama that this is not the normal Western Kentucky that you just roll over and do something like this. It's a totally new ball club." The baseball club comparison, of course, was made before Western's loss as mentioned. And the folks at Bama never took these statements too seriously. And look what he said earlier. "I honestly and genuinely can't wait to get on the field with the mindset I have now. The way I'm in shape, the way my body feels, the weapons we have around me, the defense we have, the coach we have." Little did he know, the game would not go as he expected, with Bama showcasing its tradition on the field. What's important to highlight here, however, is that Alabama cannot afford to underestimate any opponent, regardless of who is on the other side of the field. But Finley's speech, as funny as it was, serves as a lesson for him and his team after all. Over the years, Alabama has built an unshakable reputation for excellence, and it was this reputation that was once again put to the test. But Bama went there and won as the favorite, regardless of what they say. Now the same spirit is against Georgia. See what happened, Finley? Now Bama's eyes are on the next game and will surely continue to demonstrate their strength on the field with the help of Milroe and company. Onward, TJ Finley has encountered Alabama 4 times during his college career across 3 different schools, each meeting ending without success. His journey, marked by resilience and adaptability, seems to be at a standstill. Finley's frequent transfers might suggest a struggle to find stability and a nurturing environment. Emerging from high school as a 3-star prospect, Finley initially chose LSU, a decision loaded with promise over other football powerhouses like Oregon and Auburn. However, his stint in Baton Rouge was brief and disappointing, highlighted by a crushing 55-17 defeat to Alabama in his first encounter. This set a precedent for a series of unsteady tenures. At Auburn, he lost his starting position to Robbie Ashford and faced continued uncertainty. A transfer to Texas State offered a brief highlight in a lesser-known program, yet it was not to last. Now, at Western Kentucky, his latest attempt at a resurgence in college football faced another setback against a relentless Alabama. Observing Finley's path, it's clear that while he possesses notable physical skills and moments of leadership, he lacks the consistency needed to establish himself as a top-tier quarterback. His performances against Alabama reflect broader challenges. He has never led a team to victory over the Crimson Tide, and his stats against them illustrate a player overshadowed by stronger, more organized teams. Whether at LSU, where his team was overwhelmed, or Auburn, where despite a heroic effort that extended to 4 overtimes he fell short, his track record has been disappointing. Now in his 5th year and having passed through 4 different programs, time seems to be running out for Finley. The cycle of transfers and lack of stability hint that he might be chasing an elusive goal. College football demands more than just physical prowess and experience. It requires resilience, mastery of the game, and the ability to excel under pressure. Despite his confidence and bold pre-game declarations, Finley consistently falls short when facing elite teams. Looking ahead, Finley's future in football remains uncertain. He's had multiple opportunities to prove himself as the quarterback, but has faltered at critical moments. While his determination to persevere is commendable, college football, and certainly the professional ranks, is unforgiving. Without consistent performance, significant victories, and tangible results, Finley risks becoming another tale of unfulfilled potential. As Alabama continues its quest for titles, TJ Finley must face the harsh reality that his time in college football is dwindling, and the prospects for a brighter career are increasingly dimming. Alabama's defense is gearing up for its next major challenge, Georgia. For the Crimson Tide, full focus is essential as they prepare to face the Bulldogs' complex and versatile offense. Maurice Linguist, Alabama's defensive coordinator, is fully aware of the difficulty his unit will face. Georgia's offense is not just varied but effective in different phases of the game, demanding detailed and intense preparation. Linguist has expressed his respect for Georgia's offensive scheme, describing the Bulldogs as a team that can do it all in the passing game, combining horizontal and vertical plays with running and passing options. The technical breakdown of the Bulldogs' attack highlights the challenge of facing a team that masters both the aerial and ground game, showcasing clean drop-back progressions and a variety of options that challenge any defense. There aren't many things they don't do, Linguist acknowledged, recognizing the completeness of Georgia's offensive system. For him, it's not just about complex schemes, but also the play volume and the quality of the Bulldogs' offensive roster. The defensive coordinator emphasized that besides the scheme, the players from Georgia are a force to be reckoned with. They have players, Linguist pointed out, aware that the individual talent of Georgia's athletes only adds to the challenge of stopping the opposing offense. This awareness makes Alabama conscious of the magnitude of the challenge, but also determined to face it head-on. Recent numbers from Georgia's offense might look less impressive compared to previous seasons, but Linguist knows this doesn't reflect the real potential of the Bulldogs. Carson Beck, the starting quarterback, has shown some inconsistency in the first 3 wins of the season, with an average of 256.7 yards per game, placing Georgia only 50th in the national ranking for aerial attacks. Despite this, Beck has distributed his passes well, throwing to 6 different receivers across his 7 touchdowns. This demonstrates the attack's ability to involve multiple players and confuse opposing defenses. Key figures among the receiving core include Arian Smith and Dominic Lovett, who have already accumulated double-digit receptions in 3 games. These players pose a real threat to Alabama's secondary, which will need to be at its best to challenge every pass and limit Beck's options. However, even if Georgia's air attack has not yet reached its full potential, Linguist is aware of their danger and the havoc they can wreak if underestimated. In victories over Clemson, Tennessee Tech, and Kentucky, Georgia has averaged 31.7 points per game, a figure that places the Bulldogs 61st nationally. While these numbers may not seem impressive at first glance, the depth and talent of Georgia's offense become evident when considering the context. The team's versatility, with multiple weapons at Beck's disposal, makes stopping this attack a true puzzle for the Crimson Tide's defense. Despite the focus on Georgia, Maurice Linguist emphasized a crucial point: Alabama's preparation does not change, regardless of the opponent. "What we have to do is keep it about us," he stated. This approach reflects Alabama's mentality to focus on their own performance rather than overly concerning themselves with the opponent's qualities. Linguist wants his players to enter the field with a mindset to challenge, ready to contest every play, challenge every throw, and force errors from the opponents. the defensive coordinator highlighted that for Alabama to succeed against Georgia, the defense needs to be aggressive and disciplined, maintaining focus on their own execution. This involves being attentive to every detail, but also trusting the preparation process that has been a hallmark of the Crimson Tide over the years. They know they need to be in the best form possible to limit such a talented and well-coached offense. In conclusion, Alabama is aware that Georgia represents a monumental challenge, but confidence in their own team identity is what will guide their defense in this battle. For the Crimson Tide, the path to victory involves staying calm, being relentless in every play, and, above all, maintaining focus on what they can control, their own performance. Under Maurice Linguist's leadership, Alabama's defense is ready to give their all and demonstrate that they are up to the challenge of this highly anticipated matchup. With their attention fully turned to the Bulldogs, Alabama will not back down from the challenge. Chris Kapilovic, Alabama's offensive line coach, is not one to be swayed by facile praise. Despite a convincing win over Wisconsin, where many might laud the performance of the Crimson Tide's offensive line, Kapilovic quickly dismissed any notion that his unit was up to the accolades. Despite clear progress, he keeps his feet firmly on the ground, refusing to get carried away by what he calls rat poison, referring to the kind of praise that could distract his players from striving for perfection. The offensive line's evolution has been significant, notably with the return of Caden Proctor as left tackle and Elijah Pritchett as right tackle, along with Tyler Booker at left guard, Parker Brailsford as center, and Jaden Roberts at right guard. This lineup has given Alabama a stability unseen in previous weeks. Averaging 7.3 yards per play against the Badgers, the offense operated smoothly, with Jalen Milroe enjoying time in the pocket to throw for 196 yards and rush for another 75, contributing to 5 total touchdowns. These figures reflect not only Milroe's talent, but also the quiet yet crucial work of the offensive line. Yet, Kapilovic was quick to temper any euphoria. He acknowledged the improvements, but emphasized that there is still a long way to go. "We are not where we need to be," the coach stated. His concern about rat poison, a term popularized in the Alabama football program to describe the overconfidence bred by external praise, is emblematic of a mindset focused on continuous growth. Kapilovic aims to keep his players focused on daily work, not misled by praise that could become a dangerous trap. "Many of the same people who were saying they weren't good are now praising them," he commented, pointing out the volatility of public opinion. Kapilovic is aware that criticism is as inevitable in college football as is sudden and fleeting recognition. Therefore, he keeps his players grounded in the reality of the work that still needs to be done. He understands that the path to becoming a truly dominant offensive line unit is long and arduous, and that the challenges of the season won't be solved with one good game. Despite Kapilovic's caution, the results of the latest game have not gone unnoticed. Alabama's starting offensive line, consisting of Proctor, Booker, Brailsford, Roberts, and Pritchett, was recognized as National Players of the Week by the Outland Trophy, one of the most prestigious awards in college football. Additionally, the unit was honored internally as the Offensive/Lineman Players of the Week by the Crimson Tide program itself. Offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan also praised the line, highlighting the protection offered to Jalen Milroe and the dominance at the line of scrimmage, both in the air and on the ground. Sheridan described the performance as excellent and noted the line's impact on the overall success of the offense. This recognition does not mean, however, that the road ahead will be easy. Alabama is preparing to face a Georgia defense that has already registered 8 sacks by 7 different players and 21 tackles for loss in just 3 games. The Bulldogs' defense, known for its aggressiveness, has allowed only 3.1 yards per carry to opposing running backs, presenting a formidable challenge for the Crimson Tide's offensive line. For Sheridan, controlling the line of scrimmage will be key to Alabama's success, not just against Georgia, but throughout the season. It always starts up front, the offensive coordinator stated. Being able to control the line of scrimmage certainly lets you do more things. Sheridan knows that with a solid offensive line, Alabama can place itself in better down and distance situations, expanding options for both the passing and running game. Alabama's offensive line, though showing signs of improvement, is far from a complete unit. Kapolovic will not allow his players to be distracted by what has been achieved so far. He knows that consistency is crucial and that the real test is yet to come, especially with the SEC opener against an elite defense like Georgia's. The focus for the Crimson Tide remains the same: hard work, discipline, and constant improvement. For Kapolovic, there are no shortcuts to success. He believes his offensive line still has much to prove, and that only through total dedication and attention to detail will they achieve the level of excellence necessary to remain at the top of college football. What's your take? Comment below.